Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Morning. It's Monday, the 27th of November. I am Adeosun. Let's get this final trading week taking us to Friday, the first day of the final month of the year started live here on Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. Now, let's get started. The big story from the business world is the business of budgeting. All eyes on Nigeria's upper and lower legislative houses called the National Assembly to get down to work on the budget 2018 draft proposals presented by President Buhari to the joint houses nearly 4 weeks ago. President Buhari's administration is walking a very tightrope to make good his plans to revert to January to December budgetary calendar. Bright and early, 1st of January 2018. We're getting sources say that the National Assembly is looking at how to make this possible, but there could be some delays. We have less than 30 days to see the fate of budget 2017, whether that will overlap the 2017 into the new year. And just next door to Abuja, the country's political capital, is Niger State, and that's the venue of the Budget and National Planning Ministry, leading a three-day crucial joint board committee meeting for this week. 3 days they're meeting to discuss the implementation plan and the roadmap for the 2017-2020 Economic Recovery and Growth Plan blueprint. That's been headed by Udoma, the Minister in charge of Budget and National Planning. So let's talk about tax. Nigeria's Finance Ministry is now, our Minister, Adeosun, is now firing on all fours against tax defaulters. The media is reporting that the Adeosun's new tax war now will be expanded to include the profiles of companies that received major payments from the government in the past 5 years. Very simple, quickly. If you have done business with the Nigerian government in the last 5 years and you've gotten major monies, well, I don't know what that means by whatever billions of naira or millions, then Adeosun's Ministry of Finance is going to check your tax profiles to determine your tax compliance with the government in the last 5 years, and that comes under the new tax amnesty program. And as we speak, the Ministry of Finance, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, and the Joint Tax Board have deployed 1,710 new tax officers out of the 2,190 newly recruited and trained folks to 33 states. And the idea is to pursue compliance with tax amnesty. It's called the VAIDS, the VAIDS, the Voluntary Asset Declaration Scheme. The deadline for that is the 31st of March 2018. You don't want to get caught on the wrong side of the law. That's Adeosun's tax war. Let's go down to One in Rivers State, where doing business at the oil and gas free trade zone is getting some negative side of the news as we speak. The oil and gas free trade zone, known simply as OGEVSA, says 16 companies have been deregistered because under the Intel Nigeria concession arrangement. That's the news. OGEVSA says these companies actually applied to leave the free export, oil and gas export free trade zone because of complaints of lull in business activities at the zone in 2016. According to a statement issued by OGEVSA's head of media unit, it says, quote, a few other companies also decided to leave on complaints of excessive tariff charges by Intels, which led OGEVSA to insist on downward review of current tariff and the approval of a new regime in line with the extant law in the free zone. That's according to Mr. Iboro Otongaran, who is the OGEVSA's senior advisor on media matters. Let's move on to other news this morning. Nigeria's largest commercial bank, First Bank, has published a three-page newspaper editorial naming 119 companies and their directors described as delinquent debtors to the financial institutions. The names on the list includes the delisted Starcoms PLC, if you were investing in the market during the 2005-2007, you remember the fiasco around Starcom's PLC, that telecommunications company. But the highest delinquent data on the list published today by First Bank was a company by the name Carrington Telecoms. This company was based at the Isle of Man. And that company, that telecommunication company, according to First Bank, is owing 25.469 billion naira. That's what you need to get a brand new license to start a new bank. And that's been owed First Bank. Okay. Still in the news this morning, and finally, the Nigerian Stock Exchange will today admit via introduction, what is called listing by introduction, of the shares of an oil and gas vessel services company known as Global Spectrum Energy Services PLC. That company will join contemporaries like Japol Oil and Gas Maritime PLC and others in that subsector, and we'll start tracking that for you. Very interesting. So we're talking about the marketplace, capital markets, the 2017 PALE Awards. That's the only awards that we have in the entire capital market in Nigeria. Started about 15 years ago. This independent organization yesterday night, Sunday night, decided that Channels Television market correspondent and business producer Temple Ashaju is the capital market reporter for the year 2017. Temple Ashaju got these awards 10 years after I got the same award in 2007. That's 10 years after. And let's have that as we have Channels. Temple Ashaju stands for honors yesterday night.
Temple Ojutalayo Ashaju is a journalist